Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Well, it's actually just just turned afternoon. It's 12:08 UK time, Friday the 6th of December 24. Gonna just do a very quick update today. Unfortunately, I've got a bit of a busy day today, so I won't be able to do a little bit along. I know you guys like my long strings, or maybe you don't. I don't know. But anyway, in any case, let's just quickly have a look at the charts. Have a little quick update of yesterday's flush and see where we're at right now. If you do pop on, just say hi. It's nice to say hi, nice to chat. All right, so this is Bitcoin. Yesterday I posted in the newly formed Discord that I've created. I posted that we were going to go down. Hi, Emre Tagla. I posted that we're going to go down. It looked like we wanted to go down, and lo and behold, we went down. So let me just show you. This was it yesterday at 3:15:06. Bearish CVD on the star agents forming this range. That was when the price was at $103,000, and lo and behold, yesterday, like 10 minutes after I posted that, no, it literally dropped, and then bam. So it went down. It went like 12%, crazy. So last night I was streaming for like a late night chill session, which I've been doing recently, and we had a little bounce of my area of interest. I had this area of interest. The reaction wasn't as good as I wanted, just simply because there was no respect. So respect, you kind of have to stop at the level precisely. This kind of washed through, and then you need, on the back test, you need to hold. I had this little kind of V shape on the 5-minute time frame, little V shape idea in play. You lose the 50%. See, you lose the 50%, you're gone. And actually that was it. You see, when you lost the 50% here, it dumped. It was game over, because with these little V-shaped recoveries, you have to hold 50%. You can't lose it. Fundamentally, that's the line in the sand. The minute you lose it, you dump. Yeah, so there's no recovery from that. It can happen. There was a slight bullish CVD on this little range, so you can see there's some people who's trying to absorb this price. So let's kind of have a look at the market orders, the order flow yesterday, and just kind of learn. It's good to look back and learn and appreciate what happened last night. So where was it? This was the let me see where it was. Let me just kind of zoom out a little bit. Oh, for some reason there's data missing. I don't know why Bybit has ExoCharts has data missing. Let me refresh it. Oh, that's a bit annoying, because I wanted to show you. I wonder if their platform bugged out. Look, for some reason the data's missing from the drop yesterday. It's really annoying because you've got this gap here. In that gap it dropped and it came back up. I don't know why the data's missing. It's a bit annoying. I wanted to show you, but there were liquidations, and I should take more screenshots of these, because when I posted this, you can see, look, this where I saw a little bit bullish CVD. You can see there's liquidations here, and this is from last night. Now when I look at the order flow, it's gone. That's look, see, that was from last night. See, a little bit bullish CVD. That was the V that was forming, and then it dropped again. You can see there's liquidations, and so when I go to ExoCharts now, it's all gone, vanished. Well, we know that there were big liquidations. There's a big liquidation. It went all the way down to, I can't see the data. It's really frustrating. It went all the way down to 91. Okay, it went all the way down to here. See that? cleared all of that liquidity, we would have seen a massive liquidation bubble. Let me have a look at Binance here to see if if Binance is also missing data. No, we see that. That was it. Wow. It was a mega liquidation, huh? I think about 15,000 BTC was dumped in that sell-off. It's a bit annoying. What does that mean? Well, good, you know, you want liquidations, you know. Nothing really. There's nothing to worry when we get big liquidations like that. It has cleared the liquidity from all the way down to 91k. So effectively, I can't see the... I know that right now what we're forming is a little bit bullish CVD here. You see that? Lower CVD, higher lows. We're forming bullish CVD in this range. So that's good. So that kind of gives us confidence that the price wants to go up. Okay. It looks like it wants to go up. And this liquidation, even though I can't see the market order, I just want to kind of explain something to you about liquidations. What you have on the range are limit orders. Yeah, people patiently place their limit orders. They don't even think about the price. They just put limit orders. Where do they put their limit orders? Generally speaking, on the higher time frame, people will put, bigger players will put orders at order blocks. Yeah, and so when you're looking at the price, you need to know where the order blocks are. It's really important because it will help. But once you clear the liquidity, and so what actually happens is you've got order blocks placed at levels of interest. So looking at this range now, there are different areas of interest. One will be volume levels, and so that's why I always pull the volume levels. And so here you've got I've got the Trump pump value area low. That's a volume level, but you've also got this local range value area. So while the Trump pump is taking the volume from the beginning of when Trump got elected, the 4th of November, okay, and using that, I will just kind of pull this volume profile. I'm going to adjust it now as well while I'm at it. See the point of control slightly higher now. You've also got the local range, and so you can actually just pull the volume profile actually just on the current range. Okay, and you can actually see, what you can see is that the value area low of this local range, the value area low, is a good level to place orders. Okay, so that's kind of where people will just place on limit orders. They just place limit orders. They say, if the price comes down, that's where I'm going to be buying. They're buyers at that level. Okay, and all the way as the price comes down, people will put orders in different time frames. Some people will put orders at the 4 hour, this 4 hour red candle. These are 4 hour order blocks. Yeah, these are 4 hour order blocks. Yeah, all the way down to this red candle here. These are 4 hour order blocks. Some people place orders on the daily order blocks, and so you have like this daily red candle here with a daily level. There's a daily level right there. The level is where people will place orders, and maybe some people will place orders at this daily level which wasn't hit. So what people usually do is they scale in, so they'll ladder their orders. Okay, and when you get a massive liquidation flush like this, a big dump, the price will go down as far as it can, as it finds support against all the orders, all the limit orders that exist. As the price comes down, eventually it will reach a point of equilibrium. Okay, that's when the price can no longer be go down, and because the orders have blocked it from going down. And then you've got market orders pulling the price up, and those are basically people who are taking profit. So people who are short from higher up will take profit, and then also people who are trying to catch the dip will also market long into that dip. Okay, but generally speaking, where the price lands is support, because that tells you that after this massive liquidation, the price couldn't get past that level. That's what the price action is telling us. That's what this candle means. This candle wick is telling us that the price was sold off all the way until it found support right at the bottom of the wick. Okay, and then it was brought right back up all the way to where the price actually closed yesterday. It's an extremely bullish candle, this is, even though it's like a spinning top. It's a red, I call it a wide-bodied red doji. It's a spinning top. It's an extremely bullish candle. It clears the liquidity from the highs up here, okay, and it clears the liquidity from the lows of here. But the reality is it closed right back up above the previous candle, above this previous daily candle in the range. Okay, so it's a really bullish candle. Okay, there was a crazy amount of volume. You can see the volume is a big selling pressure, and yet the price couldn't go down. It was held up. So it's a really bullish candle. What we experienced yesterday, the volume gives us that indication of bullishness, right? And also what's happening is, so people will get their orders filled because they've placed them orders. Naturally the price comes up, they go, oh my god, I've just made a lot of money, and they quickly sell. But actually right now you can see the price is still going up. So we experienced a little bit of bullishness here in that liquidation. There's no reason why the price can't test it again. But the reality is, I think this is really strong support here at the bottom of this candle. Really strong support. Generally speaking, if the market wants to, it can go all the way down just to test the bottom of the candle again. Okay. It can do that. It's very possible for another test. But at the moment, what I'm seeing is quite bullish price action, simply because we've managed to find our way back above the point of control. That's really important. So if the price wanted to go down, if the price was now dumping, if the price was now ready to crash after a liquidation, you would get rejection to continue. Yeah, you wouldn't, but we didn't get a rejection to continue. We got a rejection to attack more, we're attacking, we keep on attacking the highs. We're not going down, we're actually trying to go up. It looks like we're trying to go up. Generally speaking, in a bear market, you'll get a dump like that, and the price won't even be able to get above the body. Yeah, it'll just reject there, and you'll struggle there before you kind of continue. Yeah, and that's right now we're seeing the opposite of that. So right now, I think, just based on what I'm looking at, if we do get a pullback, I think we'll have to see if that support holds the support for continuation. Otherwise, right now I can see that it's quite strong. It could go down again, and generally speaking, if it does go down, it's an opportunity. I would say it's an opportunity to buy, not necessarily a kind of panic moment, just simply because I see this as quite a bullish reaction from these lows, from 91k area, which is kind of what I've been talking about for weeks now. I've been talking about 91k. You can see I've got this channel midpoint marked out, and it hit it perfectly again. So that confirms that this is support. We're in support now. This area that you see now here is strong support. Yeah. And generally speaking, when the price tests support and it tests support, then the price tries to go the other way. Yeah, because now people are confident that they can now put their invalidations, they can long, and they can put their invalidations slightly lower, and they're putting their lower. So if the price does in the future, for reasons that no one can explain, go down, then they don't have to have a wider invalidation. They can kind of, people who are long from however low, they can now move their stops up. That's kind of what this allows them to do. It allows them to move their stop losses up. Okay, so I think this is quite a bullish price action yesterday, personally, and it kind of needed to happen because the funding rate was extremely bearish. We had a little bit of flush on all the coins, funding rates. I was out of position yesterday, and then when it started dumping, well, I started to scale back in, and I'm just continuously scaling back in because I see this as quite bullish. I see Bybit is neutral here. Bybit is neutral. I consider Bybit as my guide, and you see on Bitcoin Bybit is neutral. I like that. On most of the other exchanges, it's slightly, very slightly bearish, very slightly, but not too much. Binance being the biggest one, very slightly, 0.01 is neutral. anything above that is slightly to the bearish side. It's not bearish, it's just slightly bearish. It's kind of normal. You can see here Deribit is actually bullish and crypto.com is actually bullish. You see what this is, green and bullish. The altcoins are still extreme bearish. They were very bearish, and some altcoins are still ultra bearish. Okay, doesn't mean that they're going to go down, because actually Bitcoin is what guides everything. So it just means that they've probably been overbought on leverage. So I can't see it here. I know SLERF is at extremely bearish funding rates at the moment. It just means that people holding leverage long positions have to pay to keep those positions open, and people who are in shorts are getting paid to short or keep their shorts open. So it's an incentive, isn't it? To here, look, you see Doge in some exchanges is quite bearish. It means there's quite a lot of leverage longs open. They haven't been closed, but generally speaking, this was much more bearish yesterday, and we had a little bit of a liquidation flush. I'm not saying that you can't liquidate again, you can't flush again. It's always possible to flush. Yeah, flushing is always possible. But at the moment I'm seeing this as bullish, even though we've taken out the lows. So you might be thinking, oh my god, we've just put in a lower low. We have technically up to put in a higher high and a lower low. Yeah, so now we're in this kind of wide bodied doji. It's an indecision candle. Yeah, we have the range. That's our range right now. Okay, so I think possibly what's going to happen, I don't know, I'm speculating largely. Okay, I think possibly what's going to happen is we're just going to be range bound for a while. I kind of imagine that Bitcoin is going to be range bound for a little bit of a while between the top and the bottom. And if at some point where the price of Bitcoin is able to flip that top into support, then we're kind of going higher. And obviously if you lose, for reasons that I can't explain, if you lose that lower, that bottom, flip it into resistance, we're going down. We're probably going to go down to the next level, and the next level, probably if we lose that as a flip it like that, you're probably heading all the way down to 74k in that case. Okay, so I think we're range bound now. This is your range. Right now we're kind of slightly above the center of the range. I'm leaning bullish, even though we're at the highs, only because we've just had a massive liquidation flush to the downside. Okay, so I'm still leaning bullish. The market is still, for me, is bullish. And yeah, I think it's just a nice liquidity grab. I think a lot of big and large investors will look at this as an opportunity to start accumulating, because they see that the price has failed to come underneath this level, and you've had big volume and you failed to break this level. You see that big volume failed to break that level. That gives investors a little bit of confidence to start accumulating at these prices. So you kind of needed to happen, didn't it? I think it needed to happen. So I'm quite bullish on that, to be honest with you. Looking at the weekly time frame candle, I like it. You know, I like it. I don't see why we don't go up, to be honest with you, but you know, I can't predict the future. I like that candle at the moment, and we're above the weekly level from last week at the moment. Right back up. We came all the way down, cleared the liquidity from all of this red weekly candle all the way down to the lows, tested the lows for support. We're right back up. It kind of reminds me of what happened when we broke out before here. You know, that's our first red weekly candle after the breakout here, wasn't it? That was the breakout. That was the first weekly candle. We had a green up, and then look, it went all the way down, cleared the lows, bullish, and then it just continued. And so I almost think we should continue next week. We should continue going up, personally, but at the moment we're range bound. Okay, and for all intents purposes, there's two ranges in play. I think you've got this Trump pump value area, which is actually a slightly wider range. I think probably this tighter range is probably more relevant at the moment, all the way down to this dotted line that I have marked. And then you've also got the price range, and so I think in this context, the price range, slightly wider. So let me just actually mark, do I mark this? Oh no, I don't really need that, because I can see possibly the price. You have a price range here from here to the high, top of the, so that's probably your absolute overall range. Let's see, do a fib pull. Hmm. 50% is the midpoint. We're in the top part of the range. Let me see. Yeah, I like that actually. 50%, that's kind of where we are. Just from this pivot here all the way up to the top. Golden pocket held here. Back test here for golden pocket. Nice. Back above 382. So if the price does manage to get above the 236, then we're back into the top part of the range. We're back into, then we'll be looking to go up to new highs again. For all intents purposes, this was a lower low. Okay. But if we go up and take the high, then this becomes a higher low. And again, like I said, if we go down and take the low, then we're into bearish market stretch. That would be bearish. Yeah, it would be very bearish to go down and take this low, the one that we just put in. I wouldn't think that's bullish at all. Okay, I'm not expecting that. So I think there's going to be if we do end up going down for reasons that I can't explain, that's going to be a change in market structure back to bearish confirmed. Okay, and then probably if we do take that low, we're probably heading down to this 74k, 73k. Okay, so I just want you to be aware of that this pivot that we've put in now must hold. Yeah, we can't go lower than this now. Okay, I think that would be terrible if that was happened. And if we go up and take out the high, which makes more sense, then this pivot becomes your higher low and you've put in another high. That's effectively what you've done. So that would be bullish, bearish, and everything in between is just range bound price action. Okay, and even though you've got the absolute range all the way down to here, I think if you take that low, you're probably heading to much lower, all the way down to 74k. All right, Ali Hash, hello, welcome. Tony M, welcome. Rude Soup Cat. Doge is probably going to $1, my friends, so you just have to be patient. I think today is the anniversary of Doge, so we might get a Doge pump this weekend. All right, so that's kind of my Bitcoin analysis. We're range bound at the moment, which is good, because usually when we're range bound, Bitcoin alts pump. I do think if we pull back, the alts will get a little bit scared. I think though halfway of this wick is probably a good entry, like 50%. It's probably a good entry if you're looking to enter Bitcoin. You haven't entered yet, you're looking for a good entry. Probably around here is probably a good entry at about 94k. If we do come back down for another little flush, a mini flush, that might be a good place to enter. Get a little bit of reaction. We might head right back up. I think right now we're teetering around the point of control. I think I would like to see the point of control flip in some meaningful way as support. We have to look at the order flow to see if we start getting some bearish divergence, which we're not right now. We're not getting bearish divergences, so that's good. We don't want bearish divergences. Effectively, what we do want is we want the daily open to hold the support and then the VWAP to hold the support. Then we can go up. Right now, it might be an indecision day. I don't know, but I don't see why. I don't know, but I don't see why we don't have another altcoin pump weekend. I don't see why that doesn't continue through to the end of this month, to be honest with you. But we'll see what happens. All right. That's kind of my Bitcoin update for today. I don't know if that helped. But effectively, I think last night was a good pump. On the lower time frame, this 30-minute candle was a really bullish reversal. Back above 50% of the body. Bullish continuation. I think if we lose around 98k, basically this point of control, we could have a little flush. But then actually you're looking to try and go back up again, I think. Okay. So I wouldn't be shook out. The only way I'd be shook out is we kind of lose this low. I think then the market will become really negatively bearish. I'm not expecting it. All right, so that's Bitcoin. Any questions on that? Yeah, Bitcoin dominance is kind of going up a little bit. It's kind of still under 58k, consolidating a little bit underneath this broken trend line. I'm hoping that we just continue going down on Bitcoin dominance, just to continue up the altcoin rally. That would be nice. DXY it's looking weak, so that's good. Looks like a little head and shoulders pattern here. If we take out the lows, that's confirmation, huh? Head and shoulders, lower low, lower high. We haven't taken out yet, but a lower low here would change the structure into bearish, and then we can go down to our level here on the DXY, which is my target on the DXY. That would be nicer for the DXY to give back some strength all the way down to these levels, these lower levels. Let's have a look at some other things here quickly. The Russell 2000s in this V-shaped recovery consolidation pattern, so we have to see if it can find support at 50% here. So kind of still somewhere there. The SPX, we haven't opened today, but it gapped, so I wonder if we fill that gap. I was looking at MicroStrategy yesterday. I saw it dump right back to the point of control. Maybe it can hold here, I don't know. Or maybe it's going to go much lower and fill the gaps, I don't know. But I saw that it kind of was trying to find support here as well yesterday. So let's see what happens today. These liquidate, like, it's interesting because MicroStrategy was dumping before Bitcoin dumped, and then Bitcoin dumped. I kind of feel like MicroStrategy is leading Bitcoin in some ways. It's very unusual, so it might be worth keeping an eye on that. All right. So it's a quick one today. I'm not going to really spend time because I have to go. It's 12:36. Let's just have a look at some other things quickly. So I think Solana showed some strength yesterday, and I liked it. Solana's been a little bit bearish recently, and we've kind of put in a lower low here, daily highs, lower higher high, sorry, higher low, higher high, lower low, lower high, lower low. See that we're in bearish market structure on Solana, but we kind of went up, and I think we put in a higher high here. It's very hard to see. This is the index, isn't it? Let me actually have a look at it on another chart. Spot. Let's have a look at spot on Bybit. You see spot on Bybit actually put in a higher high here. See that? Here, higher low, higher high, lower low, lower high. This is bearish, lower low. And here you see on spot Bybit, on spot, Solana actually put in a higher high here. Okay, right there, just by a fraction. You see that? Let's have a look at Solana on Binance. This is spot. Again, I see the same thing on Binance. I see a higher high there. So that's on two exchanges. Let's have a look at Solana on Perps. And let's see if we see the same thing. Have a look at Binance, see on Binance, put in a higher high, same thing. So on Binance, we've also put in a higher high by a fraction. And SDT, oops. What am I doing? Let's have a look at perps on Bybit, again, higher high. So I think Solana has put in a higher high, I think, yeah. That's kind of what we wanted to see. We wanted to see Solana put in a higher high, and it has. It's taken out this high here. That's our higher high. Now we need to just hold this low and put in a higher low for a higher high. We need to take out the current high. We need to put in a higher low and then go right back up and take out that high. That would be a change of market structure to bullish. I don't know if it's going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen today, but I don't know if it's going to happen tomorrow, this weekend or not. I would like to see it happen tomorrow. And let's just smash that high and just go up. That would be really nice. At the moment, we've created a new daily level. So we're putting in higher closes here, you see. Putting in a higher close here. So that's good. So we are finding a little bit of strength here on Solana, I think. Okay. As long as we don't take out that low, then we've put in a higher high. Whatever happens, we just need to not go underneath $215 or so and then go up. And then we've confirmed bullish market structure. We put in another higher high. If that happens in this kind of context, when I'm looking at it right now, it's like an inverse head and shoulders pattern, isn't it? That's kind of what I'm looking at now. That maybe that was the head. You've taken the highs out, so you put in a higher high, put in a higher low, and then we're in an explosive move to the upside. I kind of feel that that's what Solana is trying to do right now. I'm not 100%, but never 100%. I like that we took the high out yesterday. Now we're coming back down to find a higher low. And so naturally, when it dumped yesterday, Solana did quite well. I didn't really dump, actually. It kind of went up, kind of came down and then held a higher low and didn't really dump. So it wasn't that bearish. And when you look at SLERF as well at the same time, didn't feel bearish on SLERF at all yesterday. I was like, I'll just long some more. Buy some more SLERF. Just buy. Okay. And when I look at this, I kind of like I do wonder if it's bearish or not, because generally speaking, when you do create these upwards channels, they can be quite bearish. They're like flags, aren't they? I almost think it's upward consolidation. It's like bullish consolidation rather than a bearish flag. That's the kind of vibe I'm getting from this. I'm not 100%. I said yesterday, it looks like SLERF is trying to hold a crucial level here. We tested it once, twice, 3 times. You don't really want to test it many more times, to be honest with you. Yeah. I think 3 is enough. We don't really, maybe even 4 or 5 if you count every wick as a test. I don't really want us to go down and test it again and again and again. Eventually it will break. If you keep on testing a level more than once, it gets weaker and weaker and weaker. The last time we came down, we put in a higher low here. That was good. But you don't really want to just keep on going down and down, you know, then this is going to start looking really bearish, isn't it? What you want to do is just kind of stay strong where we are now until Solana can find strength, and then we can explode. Basically, that's kind of what I'm imagining at the moment. Okay. And so yesterday when Bitcoin dropped to 91k, let's just have a look at Bitcoin and let's have a look at SLERF. There it is. That's the drop. Look, SLERF actually went up. Like, what the fuck? It's crazy, huh? Bitcoin down 8%. SLERF was down 6% and then it just came right back up. So I think that's quite strong, huh? Look, there's volume as well. The volume was up volume. It wasn't down volume. I think it's quite bullish. We're getting a real strong accumulation here on SLERF. Yeah, I do see the funding rates are quite bearish. I think it means there's a lot of large players open big leverage positions on SLERF. That's what I think. Yeah, just waiting for the pump. I think you've got a lot of leverage that's opened up on SLERF waiting for the pump. And big players are just opening on their cross margin accounts on Binance or on Bybit, just waiting patiently, waiting for SLERF to pump. I think eventually when Solana goes back to bullish, then SLERF is going to have a massive rally. And I think we're just waiting for that moment. So it's obviously better to be in the spot, but that's what I see what's happening. So I don't really have anything to report. It's kind of hard to do technical analysis on the chart, which is just in some kind of sideways consolidation range, finding support at this level, just waiting for Solana to find strength. You know, that's all it's really doing at the moment. My idea is not invalidated at all. It's still in play. This is still holding as support. This is still where the price has to find support if this count is correct. And then basically we're still in some kind of corrective pattern here. I'm not really even going to try and work it out, because potentially we should have been much lower and we're not. So the price is being, clearly the price is being prevented from going down. And like you can see here on the MACD, you can see that there's kind of hidden bullish divergence, how this has come all the way up and it's come to halfway, whereas this has come basically all the way down to the lows. There's a bit of divergence here. This is absorption, okay, and now we're just kind of nicely reaccumulation. It's like a little reaccumulation range above that previous pivot. I consider this to be quite bullish, and we just have to see what happens next. I think last week was quite a nice bullish week because it was bearish and it didn't really go down. We kind of took the liquidity, and now this week we've gone down. We haven't put in a lower low. We're kind of holding this area. I wouldn't mind if we go up this week, to be honest, by this weekend. I wouldn't mind if Solana finds a little bit of strength and we go up with Solana. But in any case, I think this is still good. If it kind of ends like this, I think it will be still good, because it just looks like the price is trying to find support here. And it still looks like what I originally suggested, some kind of massive, gigantic inverse head and shoulders pattern potentially being formed here with a higher shoulder now. That would put our measured move breakout to all-time highs here, I think. Okay. And I also think, because we're talking about a higher time frame breakout, you could probably 2x that distance in a breakout. You could probably go much higher in some kind of crazy breakout. So this is quite interesting. I'd like to see what happens next. I don't really have any other kind of thoughts. Let me just kind of pull the volume and see if there's any significant changes here on SLERF. Well, this is interesting. Let's have a look at this. I'm definitely going to have to clean up my charts. I'm going to have to spend some time and just do a full redo. So you see there's a bit of a change here, because before I had the point of control down at the lows here, didn't I? Look at the POC, value area low, value area high. So what's actually happened now is we've put in enough volume in this current area of interest that now the point of control has shifted to where we currently are. And now you can just move that high volume node to the nearest high volume node. There's also high volume node lower down. I don't imagine that we're going to go all the way down, but that's basically where your high volume nodes are at. But what's happened now is that we've put in enough volume here to flip the point of control. So now the point of control is exactly where we are. And as long as the price can find support on the point of control, this is really important. So we kind of need the price to find support here. Okay. And whatever we do, we don't want to drop and then fail to go back up. Yeah. So it's a really important level that's forming here. Eventually what we want to do is find support, like actual support. Right now what's happening is we've just flipped the point of control to this area. So it's the highest volume area. So there's a lot of interest in SLERF at these prices now. Yeah, the most interest in SLERF has been at these prices. That's what that means. And effectively, to go up, we have to flip this point of control into support. I'm not saying it's happening this exact minute or this exact second, but eventually that's what needs to happen. And you could argue, well, what's the exact line? Whereabouts is it? Well, on different time frames, it will show different exactly different lines. Just because the last candle doesn't get included when you do a volume pull. There, you can just use like a medium time frame and kind of try and utilize that as your pivot, your line. See, when you actually go to the 15-minute time frame, it flips higher. So it's kind of weird, isn't it, how it changes. See, in 4-hour time. So actually, the last hour you put in a little bit of volume and it's shifted higher. It's an area, isn't it? It's a little bit of an area. I prefer to use slightly higher time frame counts. So I think that can be good if we can flip it into support. Okay, that's actually, for me, that's actually quite a good sign. If we can flip it into support, if we could put a little bit more volume here, then we can actually bring the value area low higher up, and that's actually what we want to do in the future. In the future, what we want to do is put in more volume here so that the value area low actually moves up and it comes up to like this high volume node, kind of a little bit of a smaller value area. That would mean that the price would find it difficult to go back down to the lows again if it ever tried. Okay, and that would basically mean any entry down there would be safe. At the moment it's safe, but only because we've got so much support in between, and we've got this point of control that for the price to ever go down, it's not just going to go down, it would have to go down and flip it into resistance before it can go down. And to go up, it's exactly the same thing. You have to flip it into support in some way to go up. You can't just go up. You're not just going to go up. Either you go down, you go up, and then you flip it, and then you go up. Yeah. So whatever happens, we have to flip this point of control into support before we can go up. So that's the first kind of big observation. Let me just put my can't. I'll just use this chart actually because I like the fibs from this. This is the Bybit perpetual contract. So you can see these fibs. I don't know if this is correct, to be honest with you. Let me just see if it is correct. SLERF token. All-time high, that's what I'm looking for. 137. So according to CoinMarketCap, that's the all-time high, 137. So I'll just use that. So you see here, the 382 is actually an area, is a real important level to flip. We're not going to go up until we flip 382 into support. Yeah, that's a very important area. So that's the other thing. So so people are like wondering, when are we going to go up? When moon? I think we'll know if we can recapture these highs here and flip that into support. But I think it's a good sign that the point of control now is here, because it gives us a chance to actually launch off this point of control. Yeah, and ideally what you want is the first impulse. You want to use the point of control as support, launch, and then launch. Like, you have to kind of flip these areas into support until we can launch, and then we can just kind of use every area as a flip and work our way up. So at the moment, this isn't, I think this is quite good. I think when you're expecting lower, and I was expecting lower, I was expecting us to do something like down to be down here, maybe another wave to come down here, maybe, or at the very least I was thinking maybe we come and take the liquidity lower down first, and we haven't been able to, we've really struggled to go down. So I kind of think if you're thinking lower and it's not going down, then you can't think lower anymore. You have to think the opposite. So we'll see. We'll see what happens next. And I still think we're just waiting for Solana to find strength. Okay, and this is SLERF versus Solana. It looks like SLERF is more strong, a little bit stronger than Solana here. But I can't really make anything from this chart, to be honest with you. Nothing. All right, so that's kind of that. I don't know if there's any more questions on that, but that's all I have really. I'm a keen observer like you guys. Ava's been pumping. That's Dtravel. So let me just have a look at that. And the reason why it's been, I said Dtravel was a good buy a few weeks ago when it was low. And now that it's pumped, it's at 70. Look, it's at 76. I said this is a good buyer when it was down at 42 or whatever, 47 cents. I did a real long analysis on Dtravel, and I explained that we're in a higher time frame reaccumulation range. This was your accumulation, that was your markup, that was your drawdown, this is your reaccumulation. Really nice higher time frame reaccumulation range. We've come down, we've dipped on, and here we're having a little bit of an impulsive move. The volume is increasing, that's nice. And I think if you draw some kind of volume profile, you see we've gone past the point of control now. That's kind of what you want to see. You want to see the price get past the point of control. Okay, there's no meaningful backtest as of yet. Again, when you go to a different time frame, the point of control shifts, so it's not easy. There it is, that's better. We haven't really had a meaningful backtest yet. Yesterday, as the price dipped, the price was brought right back up. So for me, that's quite bullish, what I'm seeing there. And maybe this actually, if it can kind of, there's a high volume node here. If it can find support here, then probably heading to the value area high. That's kind of the destination, the target for this token, to be honest with you. If you do a fib pull down to these lows, the fibs are kind of all over the place, but you kind of really will aim for the golden pocket if you can. But ideally, this 50% mark is a massive SR flip. So you could fake out the 50%, hit the value area high, and that could be the first. This could be the first wave up to there. That's kind of what I'm seeing right now. So we are in the first wave right now, and this is the big wave 3. So I've done kind of Elliott waves on this. I've marked it out. I've mapped it out. I am expecting this to go to the moon, actually, to be honest with you. I'm not expecting it to be moon bound. I've done this kind of analysis. 1 2 3 4 5, 1 2 3 4 5, and I've kind of counted them. This whole thing is a corrective pattern, and I think we're just impulsing. This is like the first beginning of the first wave, isn't it? Look, you can see it's starting to impulse. So if people are looking to catch a token that's starting to impulse, this might be a good one. Could this be wave 3 and there was like wave 1 2 3 4 5 there? It's possible. Haven't really looked at it in depth. It is possible there was a 1 2 3 4 5 here from this pivot low. 1 2 3 4. I don't know. I'm not 100%. That's the thing, because I'm not 100%. It'll be easier to see afterwards, because generally speaking, if this is a 1 2 3 4 5 here, then you don't come back underneath it. So actually maybe it's up to there, and you have a corrective move, and this is the wave 3. But anyway, this is looking really impulsive. So I am wondering if the correction actually ended here. Yeah, something like that. So you have like a 5 wave there. And then you have this kind of, we're starting to impulse now, which would be the wave 3, and then you've got this higher time frame. It actually started there. And so technically, if this is in play, I do think it's there's a good chance that if this is actually the wave 3, and then this would have been the 1 here, 2, that's the 3, we're about to see quite an impulsive move here. That's the 1, that's the 2. So because the red 3, which is the one that I'm contemplating, that has to clear this previous, the top of this red 1 here. That's the rules. Okay, so potentially if that's the top of the 1 here, that green 1, it ended there. Just kind of making this up really as I look at it. I have to spend more time on this. I'm not going to do it right now, but I like how this is impulsing. So I kind of think that if this continues, we're probably at the very least heading to the 50% mark, which is just underneath the value area high. If you could flip that into support, then you're actually going to go to the golden pocket and just kind of puncture through the value area high, and then we're looking good. Yeah, because the big wave will come when you can actually flip the value area high and the whole value area into support. That's when the big wave is going to come, the next big wave. So we'll just keep an eye on this. I'm just kind of, it's a work in progress, so I'm not going to spend much time on it now. So that's kind of Solana, SLERF, Ava. We've looked at BTC. Let's have a quick look at BTC. I'm going to then look at TRVL, and then I'm going to go because I really have to go. I've got a few errands I need to run, and I don't have the time right now. So again, a little bit of a pullback here on BTC. We've got to be aware of that. Could it flush? Yeah, it could totally flush. I did see some bullish divergences earlier. Invalidated. It's hard to see her because we don't have that previous data. So it really sucks that we don't have that previous data. Let me see on this one if we can get some better information. Oh yeah, this is, the whole thing is bullish. Look at the CVD. So this is on Binance. To get rid of the wreck, look at the CVD and look at the price action. So it's really bullish, huh? Look, this is on Binance. Look at the CVD just going down, 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 down. Look at the lows, they're higher, higher, higher. So you've got a lot of big absorption here on Binance. This is the data. This is the only data that I have because Bybit has somehow fucked it. But I think this is quite bullish. I'll take a screenshot of that. And post that into Discord if anyone's interested to join. Let me know. I might be able to send you an invite. Bearish, bullish, CVD div, liquidation last night. That's not bad, huh? So let's see if that continues. That's quite interesting. I like that actually. Hold on a second. So let's have a look at TRVL then. I'm sorry I have to go. I think TRVL held up really strong yesterday, to be honest with you, in the drop. Kind of didn't really do anything yesterday. Just look, this was yesterday, that was the drop. How far did TRVL drop? 2%, not much. TRVL, it looks like no one's really interested in selling. People are looking for higher prices. That's what I'm getting with TRVL, higher prices. Yeah. When the market pulls back now on TRVL, there isn't really any interest in the price going down. I don't think anyone has TRVL is actually selling their TRVL. Yeah. So I think the market, TRVL's market's looking for higher. The higher we go, the more the volume will increase, and that will be the true test. So people are looking at the volume now. They're thinking, oh my God, the volume is low. What shall I do? Shall I sell? Shall I buy? I don't know. Well, you should buy because the volume is low. Because otherwise, when the price does eventually go up, it'll go up very quickly because it'll be an illiquid move, wouldn't it? So when the market suddenly starts buying this, you're going to see some really fast price action, and you'll be surprised. Yeah, if once the volume starts coming in, it'll move really quickly. Yeah, it'll move up really fast. So I'm not seeing any sell pressure right now at all. And effectively what's happening is we've got a reaccumulation consolidation range right now. Yeah. So some people have taken profit and they go, okay, I'm just going to buy back in now. TRVL looks like it's nicely consolidating. So when it dips, you get a little bit of an opportunity for people to reaccumulate. That's what's happening on TRVL. It's looking pretty good, and this is pretty nice price action. Nothing to report. There was a pennant, it broke down, didn't really go far, came back up. It wasn't flagging, so you're having a slightly longer consolidation period here. I think it's bullish. Okay, and as always, I can never be 100%, but I'm quite confident it's bullish, just because we've back tested this 5.5 level on 2 independent times and it's held the support. For me, this is a perfect reaction for testing a level. Yeah, you see, it's a perfect test. When it was happening, I told people this is nice little rounding bottom here, 5.5, and your target is the value area high of this local range. Yeah, and lo and behold, you know, actually on this chart it was underneath the value area low. On the other chart, but it did go up to the value area high. On the other chart that I'm using, which is the combined chart, have a look at that one. It kind of, you can see it's slightly higher. So this is the combined chart. So it's a combination of all the prices from the centralized exchanges. Again, now you see the value areas shifted a little bit. Before, when it was down here, you see it was perfect at the bottom, and it actually the destination was the top. It went to the top. Right now we're just consolidating here nicely at the highs. Generally speaking, I'd say it's quite bearish for the price action for the POC, the point of control, to be at the highs of a range. However, because the price keeps on going up, and if the point of control was at the highs and the price was just at the lows, it was at the lows, that would be bearish. Yeah, but because the price is trying to go up, it's kind of putting in higher lows, it's trying to go up, then eventually I think what will happen is we'll use that point of control as a springboard to expand to higher prices. And as I've said, the longer we consolidate here, the more bullish this becomes. So I don't think anyone should be kind of like stressed right now of the price action. I think it's quite nice. It's quite nice. And then the other thing I've drew in a couple of streams previously was this kind of, it's hard to draw a trend line because trend lines are more like areas, and they're not always exact lines. But I think there is a trend line in play. It's hard to draw them because, especially with this token, it's been quite illiquid. The price has gone through it many times. It felt like we broke it here until we lost it and then couldn't get back above it. And now it kind of feels like when I'm kind of looking at it. It feels like we're consolidating underneath it. Now, this is a tricky situation because while we're holding 5.5 as support, we're also underneath some kind of resistance area here. What we do actually do, we do need to break out. Yeah, eventually we can't just go sideways forever. If you keep on going sideways forever, the trend line will push us down. Okay, so whatever happens, either we break up or we break down. It's going to happen relatively soon, I think. It's not going to last forever. Even though I think consolidation sideways is good, the reality is we have this trend line which we're pressing against. Generally speaking, I think it's the more times you hit a line, the weaker it gets. We've hit this line now once, maybe twice, 3 times, maybe 4 times there. Maybe this is the whole thing as a 5th time. This is the 6th time. I think it needs to break, huh? We need to break this line, okay? And so I like horizontals, but in this case, I think we're pressing against this trend line, historic trend line. And I actually think if we do kind of break, back test and continue, then we could probably, in some kind of measured move, we're probably heading for the golden pocket. Probably. That's kind of when I look at this trend line. If I mirror it, if it looks like that could be the range, you know, that's kind of your range when you're looking at this trend line. But I mean, no one really knows. It's hard to predict these things. It would be a major break, wouldn't it, if we broke that and kind of were able to flip it into support, because we haven't actually been able to do that. We also haven't been able to effectively get above the 382 either. So that will be the confirmation. If we break this trend line, somehow flip it into support, get back above there, and then we have to see what happens next. Yeah, are we able to continue? I think it's more like if we can take out this high, I think everything changes for this token, just simply because that's a higher high and we haven't had that since February 23. And after you put in an all-time low, from a lower high to an all-time low, you're putting in a higher high. It looks like the price action actually wants to change. The structure is trying to change to bullish. Yeah. When you take out that high on a higher time frame, then you'll be looking for a higher low, and then maybe we can actually expand and go to the all-time high. That's kind of, I'm still targeting the all-time high. And I think I want to see if we can get, how quickly we can get there. If we can get a crazy alt season, where we have to see, like, no one really knows. Yeah. So even I am hesitant. I'm not hesitant, but I'm kind of waiting in not hesitation, but anticipation, waiting in anticipation to see what happens next. All right. So that's TRVL. All right, guys, I got to go, unfortunately. Nice to be with you. If I can chill tonight and stream and just be a bit more relaxed, I will. Otherwise, if I see anything, I'll post updates in Discord and maybe even on X, and we'll see what happens. All right. Have a good day. Have a nice one. Take care, guys.